Let me get all the parts for it in my box of quads. This is its battery. You start this quadcopter. Actually, before we even go into talking about the quadcopter, let's talk about this design. Obviously, those of you who have bought WL Toys before and have been flying for a while know that WL Toys is notorious for copying other people's designs. And with this quadcopter, they make no exception. You know, this is obviously a copy of the DJI Inspire. A cheap copy, well, relatively cheap, you know, to put all these components in to be able to lift. This actually does lift up these arms and actually does descend remotely. But to do all that, you know, that costs some bucks to incorporate this extra. You know, it's not a simple design, in other words, and that is why this one's a little bit pricey. I'm not sure if the price justifies having a, you know, because it's mostly cosmetic. You keep in mind that the original DJI Inspire lowers its body for a reason. Okay, at takeoff, it has this big camera pod down here, a rotating camera pod that can be rotated, that you want to protect, you know, against hitting the ground. Thus, you know, it has this takeoff mode that looks like this. But once in the air, these, you know, since this camera on the DJI Inspire, not this quadcopter, but on the Inspire, can rotate 360 degrees and look around 360 degrees, there's got to be a way that you can hide these arms. And the way that DJI came up with was to lower the body below the supporting landing pad arms of the quadcopter. That's the reason why the DJI does it. Now, I don't know what the reason that WL Toys would do it, because they do not have a rotating camera on the bottom of this. It's just a single camera on the nose of the quadcopter that points forward all the time and is actually out of the view of these propellers, I believe, for most of the flight also. So there's no real reason other than cosmetic reason to make it look like this is a DJI Inspire and include the uppering, you know, the lowering and raising of the arms to simulate a DJI Inspire. So if you have friends that have DJI Inspires, you can go out and say, look, I got one too. So that's the whole purpose of it. And then they're going to laugh at you when they say, that's not an Inspire, that's a toy. And keep in mind that really this is a toy quadcopter. You're not going to be doing professional photography with this, even with this little 720p camera. So again, this is a 5.8 gigahertz version of this, and with that in mind, there's your 5.8 gigahertz antenna. Other things about it, it has nice lights, really nice light bars on the front and on the back, multiple LEDs, so this lights up very nice if you're doing night flying. Other than that, again, the battery for this, I believe, is 2200 milliamp per hour, probably 7.4 volt. And to turn this quadcopter on and off, you just push this down into its battery slot, and that will power up the quadcopter. Now, again, I have the 5.8 gigahertz FPV version, and my sunscreen came off, but I'll put it back on here. Hold on a second, folks. There it goes. Just pops right in. 5.8 gigahertz version, and this uses the good old WL Toys standard transmitter. With, you know, I've seen this many times with their previous models, but the buttons are a little bit different. This button here is for video, starting and stopping the video. This button here is for raising and lowering the arms of the quadcopter. You press it, one of three presses, and it will go to one of three positions, and we'll demonstrate that here shortly in flight. These are actually trim buttons for throttle, including throttle trim, yaw trim, pitch trim, and roll trim. And these buttons here are for selecting different rates. There's 40, 60, 80, and 100% rate. These buttons here are two-purpose switches. One quick press will turn the lights on and off to save battery power. A long press will activate one key return. A short press of this button takes a photo, and a long press activates headless mode. So that's it in effect. Uses 6 AA batteries, as per even the old WL Toys always took 6 AA batteries. But even with 6 AA batteries, the range on this quadcopter is only 100 meters. And also, when this quadcopter goes outside of 100 meters, it will drop like a rock. So we're going to stay within 100 meters for most of this flight. I'm not going to do a range test because I don't want to drop it like a rock out here today. Now, the FPV receiver, we got an FPV receiver. I believe it's on Boscam E-band, either channel 4 or channel 8, like most others. I'm pretty sure it is. I can actually check that here shortly. I have my little FPV watch that actually measures the frequencies, or actually I can go through the different frequencies on the E-band to tell what channel this is on. But again, it's a standard little FPV monitor, as we've seen with most other 5.8 gigahertz single channel receiver, and a little monopole antenna for the FPV. So let's go into flight. I will include a sunscreen, as normally I do, over the top of this, my own home-built sunscreen that also has a camera inside, so you'll be able to see the FPV. We do have a bit of a wind today. Before I go into the flight, let's measure that wind. Not everybody has windless days, and same here. Some days I have wind, and today's wind is about 8 miles per hour. What am I measuring it in? Yeah, miles per hour. Oh, we're going up to 10 there in a gust. So 8 to 10 miles per hour. We'll see how well it handles this breeze today. So I hope you enjoy this flight. Notice it's 74 degrees out here in the desert. You know, it's not always hot out here. Okay, I have my sunscreen on here. We are recording the screen. I am turning on the screen and also turning on the quadcopter by pressing down. Oops. Let's do it this way. It doesn't want to go in. Okay, let's try it again. Why is that not going in? Am I doing something wrong? I'm pushing that in. There we go. And I got lights. That's unusual. I had a hard time getting that in there. Okay, turning on the transmitter. And taking off. Before I go any further, let me land it one more time. Okay, I want to start the video. And I want to verify that I got the red letters. So the video is on. And here we go. Hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, let's try the different positions. There's the lower position. So yeah, see? It changes its position. Now let's press the button again, and there it is, raising itself. That's 2. And that's upper position, full up. We'll start off with full up, because I think that might be the most stable of this. Now we do have a good breeze. It seems to be flying well. But again, I'm going to keep this. It's not flying too badly. Okay, full forward pitch. I guess that breeze is picking up a bit. We're going downwind or upwind. And then I am going to plop it right about there and then rotate toward me to show you that we do have a wind. Am I receiving? I am still receiving. Yeah, that's fine, okay. Going back into the wind. Takes a little bit to get going into this wind. Let's try a different position now. And transiting down to the full down position. I don't know if that makes any difference with the video. Maybe the propellers are less in view of the camera in this position. And my wife's looking for my keys. She found, oh no, that was center position. This is down position. She found the keys in my pocket. I thought she was looking for, no, I ain't gonna say anything. But there we go. Yeah, it flies. It's a big bird. Sounds interesting too. Yeah, I'm gonna turn the video off for a second and turn the video back on again. I want to make sure I get these videos. Okay, let's try the headless mode. pressing the headless mode button. And headless mode is working. Now with this quadcopter, headless mode comes in handy. Wait a minute, make sure I'm recording. Yeah, I'm recording. Headless mode comes in handy in that you could use it to keep the quadcopter pointed toward you. As I'm doing right now in panning. But that's about all it's good for. Coming out of headless mode. Going back upwind. And this time, well, we got wind here, so this isn't really a good check of this, but 1 key return. 1 key return, and here it comes back to us. So let's try that again. We'll go back upwind again, and also stopping the video one more time. Okay, white lights. I do this repeatedly to make sure I get the video. Video's back on again. But going back upwind again, and 1 key return, and it tilts back toward us and comes back toward us. Okay, for the remainder of this flight, let's just keep it close and try funnels. Yeah, I can do funnels. It's actually somewhat maneuverable, even in the wind. You know, I seen Ali. I'm a big fan of Ali, but he was having problems with his. I'm not sure what the problem was. I don't seem to be having any flight control problems with it. Might have been a bad day or a little bit too windy, but I'm flying in 10-mile-per-hour wind here. You know, when I say Ali, I mean Ali Shammal. I am a big fan of Ali Shammal. I'm sorry, folks. He's the godfather of quadcopters, in my opinion. And I follow him, and he did have problems with this, but I don't seem to be having the same problems that he had with it. He had severe problems with his. Mine's flying like a bird, flying very well. Am I still recording? Let me check here. Yeah. Turning off the recording and turning it back on again. That's going to be the fourth clip. Now again, why do I do that? To make sure that I got the recording. Now with all quadcopters that have a built-in camera, if you forget to turn off your camera before turning off the quadcopter, or losing power on a quadcopter such as from low battery, you will lose the video from your cameras. So always remember, what I like to do to make sure I get the video is that I'll do little bursts. You know, I'll record for a minute or two and then stop the video and start it again, because I don't want to lose my video. Let's do a high-speed run this time, past my position. Keep in mind, I've been flying 40%. Yeah, 40%. Let's go up to 60. Okay, I'm in 60% now. Flies great. I'm not sure what the problem Ali was having with his. Mine's flying very well. Let's go up to 100. Wow, the pitch on this is extreme at 100. Great flyer. Yeah, he must have had a defective one. Mine's flying well. Mine's flying very well. See? I have full control of it. Very maneuverable. Now keep in mind what position I'm in. Let's try it. Okay, this is upper position. And 100%. Very maneuverable. How about lower position? Lowering the arms. Bringing in to show you that they are lowered. Now that's center position. Now we're in low position. See? Okay, let's see how maneuverable it is at 100% in low position. Well, it loses altitude a bit, but Okay, one more flight upwind. And one more hover from up there. Rotating to show the area. Letting the wind blow it back toward me. And coming back down. And raising its arms. Back up again. And stopping the video. To make sure I got that video. So let's bring it in. Well, its lights aren't blinking yet. I still got a lot of power on it. So that it flies for quite a bit of time. So let's play around a bit. Let's go back to 40%. Fights the wind at 40% very easily. Yeah, I want to... Wait, that wind's picking up even more. Lower it. Or raise it. Again, this is raised position. Again, we'll go through them. Pressing the button again. There's center position. And lower position. Pretty cool quadcopter. There goes the lights. I'm going to raise it up. And we're going to land it. Okay, LVC warning. So that's our LVC warning. I am not going to crash it. And we'll land it on this windy day right there. So, okay. I guess you turn it off by pulling the battery out. So, overall, you know, it is a pure ripoff of the DJI Inspire. We all agree to that. But mine actually flew very well. I'm not sure why Ellie was having problems with his, but this was actually a very good flyer for me, even on this windy day. And it is breezing. I'm guessing it's going about over 10 knots right now. So this easily went through the wind. Other than that, though, let's talk about it real quick. If your purpose is to do FPV flying with a good sized quadcopter with a good camera, there are better quadcopters out there, even from WL Toys. In fact, WL Toys has one of the best in this price range, and I'm talking about the WL Toys Q303A FPV flyer. It even has a stabilized gimbal that goes up and down, you know, for stabilized up and down pitch. And a relatively good camera and a very good flyer, very similar to this actually in terms of flying ability. So, you know, if you're looking for something with a better camera, better flight, and it's actually cheaper than this, then I recommend the Q303A. But if you want to impress your friends, yeah, this one flies very well. So, you know, there you go. This is an Impress Your Friends FPV quadcopter. Hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101. Signing out with my nifty, oh man, I like this M20 camera. I hope the video came out nice. Stop